Trustful, Alabama. Teresa, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Ken, thank you so much for taking my call. I'm a new listener. I found you by accident, but I am so happy I found you.
Well, make that's two of us. I'm happy you found me.
My question for you is, I would like to know if I have a dream or do I really have a possibility in a job transition, what I would like to transition into.
Okay, I like it. Hit me with it.
I am a nurse practitioner. My background is mostly cardiology, and I also have been very interested in integrative health. I'm interested in the spiritual aspects of health, personal empowerment with health, and self-care. And I'm also a yoga therapist. And my idea is that I would like to take the skills that I have as a traditional nurse practitioner, where you diagnose, you treat, you manage people, you write prescriptions, and do it more holistically, more globally, perhaps maybe through webinars. I'm not really sure about that part. I think that's where I get stuck. But kind of taking my traditional knowledge and empowering people more for health and well-being so that they can take care of themselves and understand that illness and disease, a lot of it is caused by things, I shouldn't say things that we do, but things like stress, things that we could manage and actually make ourselves healthier and stay empowered.
Well, first of all, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I think your premise is spot on. There's no question about it. I think that wellness and the type of medicine that you're talking about, preventative, self-care, that's a whole industry. So I think if I took away the idea of how to take it globally, you wouldn't be as scared, would you?
Probably not.
Yeah, so here's the deal. So let's put that on the shelf for a moment.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't think that you are, I loved how you put it at the start of the call. Ken, am I dreaming or is this a possibility? And I want to correct you. Yes, Teresa, you're dreaming. And yes, it's a possibility. Just because you're dreaming about it doesn't mean that it is wacky. And I don't think that you taking your skill set as a nurse practitioner and moving into a different, let's call it channel of medicine. So if traditional medicine, or let's just say you're a cardiologist, you're a nurse practitioner in cardiology, you're just moving to a different channel of healthcare. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I am.
Have you done the research into the multiple ways that you can get paid doing what you just described?
You know what? That's where I kind of get stuck because I'm also in an area that has limited opportunity for things.
Exactly. Trustful, Alabama is not a, is not the area where a lot of that opportunity is. So the question is, do you have the flexibility or the freedom to change locations?
I actually am going back up north. I'm originally from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And what I'm doing is I'm actually going back up north for a period of time to decide, do I really want to go back up north? We came down here for my husband's job, which then sadly things went on 2 years after we were down here. So we've been down here a little over 3 years. And I don't think it's a place that even if I weren't working, I would want to retire. But I'm going back to New York. I'm going to be doing some locums work in New Jersey. And I've started some social media. I've gotten a website. So I've done that. I've also been on a radio program on Blog Radio twice, and they're looking to have me come back to do more.
Good. See, by the way, so let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you.
I think what I'm stuck on is I don't know where to quite find a position like I want.
Well, hold on a second. So, first of all, kudos to you for beginning to start some of that global stuff you were talking about. You're putting out what you know and what you care about online via social media. So good for you. Continue to do that because that's going to exercise that passion muscle. But what you've got to do is more research. It's just simple research. And I think you're trying to be too specific too soon. Here's what I mean.
Okay.
I think you need to get paid. You need to find out what are the positions that are closer to that dream job. It's rare that we step right from one thing, let's call it day job, into the dream job. It's always a progression. So for instance, Teresa, I didn't just get a national radio show. I started out doing local stuff, small potatoes. I mean, small potatoes. And over a 9-year period, I stepped into a national radio show. Now, I think your journey is much quicker because it is a very competitive space. The industry I'm in is very, very difficult to move in and succeed in. But I think in your space, you just want to move over into yoga. Maybe you're a yoga instructor, or maybe you are working for a clinic or a doctor who provides more of the type of services in healthcare. Maybe you work for a chiropractor who also, I have a chiropractor that offers some of that stuff, some of those other treatments. So the point is, what's a transition move where you get closer, or at least you're in the same general space of the type of medical care you want to provide. And while you're doing that, then you're continuing to put your own content out on social media, and you're continuing to do some local media and things of that nature. So I think it's a both and. But I want to see you get out of nurse practitioning in the cardiology space and move over into the wellness space. That's a good move for you. And so what I mean by that is, doesn't have to be the dream job, doesn't have to be perfect, but it's closer. And on some levels, you're doing some of the things, or at least you're connected to the things that matter deeply to you. So it's about replacing that income. And you and your husband have to sit down and have that financial conversation. Okay, this is my income, this is your income. If we're going to move, you got a lot of things that are moving parts for you right now. But if you do the research and you figure out where it is, I definitely think it's going to be hard to do that where you are, or at least it's going to be harder to find that opportunity. But we got to find out where you're landing first. And then if we're going up north, then we start looking up north. And then we talk about the financial situation. I've got to have this much money coming in, and I'm going to have to step into this and build up to the point that I can get paid what I need to get paid. But this is straightforward, and it's not crazy. You definitely can make that, because here's the deal. Being a nurse practitioner in cardiology, you're qualified. People are going to want you. You have so much transferable experience and skills, it's not even funny. So this isn't difficult. This is just good old-fashioned turning over rocks. And let's find out what we need to find out. What do I need to know? What are the qualifications I need? How much is that going to cost me? How much time is that going to take? Who do I need to know? Where do I need to be? Those are the questions.